There are countless Chuck E. Cheese ripoffs in the world, some not so noticeable, but most just horribly obvious. You guys might remember in my last video, we went over what Chuck E. Cheese ripoff shows are. These are repurposed animatronics with new costumes. Most of the time, these show stages are repurposed when the owner doesn't want to run an official Chuck E. Cheese's brand, so they instead cut their ties with corporate and just make the animatronics look different.
No fun without Chucky.
This restaurant originally opened up as a Pizza Time Theater in Bloomfield, Connecticut in August 1983. It was the first Chuck E. Cheese location ever opened in Connecticut. However, after only 1 year of being open, it was forced to shut down due to Chuck E. Cheese being hit with their first bankruptcy in 1984. The closed location was forced to go to auction, and the highest bidder ended up paying a whopping estimated $156,000. Once the buyers became in charge, all of the games, tables, and decor were kept. They only changed the legal necessities of the restaurant, like the signs, Chuck E. Cheese-themed prizes, and obviously the likeness of the Pizza Time players. They reached out to a company that retrofitted costumes for animatronics and changed the outer appearance of the endoskeletons, mechs. Chuck E. Cheese became Ted E. Bear. Clever, right? Helen Henny was Polly Parton, like Dolly Parton the singer. Mr. Munch was Corporal Crunch, standing out the most in this show because his appearance was completely changed. Now he is a human-looking character, dressed as an old Southern military corporal. Pasquale became Sergeant Pepperoni, still maintaining his Italian resemblance for the show tape, which, oddly enough, looks a lot like Antonio from the Man and Dog show. We'll get into that later. The Warblets were allowed to be left unchanged because of their minor roles in the performances, as well as the clapperboard, drum board, and flag wavers that surrounded the dining area. The star of the show, though, now became Jasper T. Jowls, or should I say Banjo. Holding the same banjo, his outer appearance was very different, but he stayed as a dog sheriff. Unfortunately, this new brand's run wouldn't be too long. Banjo's Pizza Family Playhouse closed in July of 1987 for reasons still unknown. It's said that business was going pretty well for this location. It's not clear where exactly all the games and the show stage went after the closure. Most guess they were sold individually. The changed show stage is nowhere to be found till this day, but the Warblets from this location now sit at the American Treasure Tour Museum, so that's an indication that some animatronics may have been sold to a private collector. Maybe they haven't posted pictures online of them. A couple years after the 1987 closure, it was bought and converted into a bank. The bank stayed open until 2019, and the building stays vacant once again. It's not yet known what will happen. Maybe someone should buy it and reconvert it into an animatronic pizza place. What do you guys think? In 1982, a new Chuck E. Cheese's opened in Chico, California, just 3 hours from the original San Jose location. The Chico location premiered with a balcony show stage, the Pizza Time Players, and these bots performed for 9 years, with the balcony stage becoming a C stage in 1989. In 1993, the restaurant received a Showbiz Pizza Time redesign to refresh the interior to look more modern and attract more sales. As well as all of the decor being replaced, the C stage with the Showtime Pizza Players now became a 2 stage. The 1982 bots now received full bodies, with their legs being visible, and their character designs were even revamped. The show stage would receive little to no maintenance attention until the late 2000s, eventually leaving the bots in such poor condition that their mouths and arms could no longer move. With the manager's abandonment of the restaurant, less people came in and preferred other locations nearby. To combat this and save money, They started using frozen pizzas from the dollar store instead of Chucky's corporate recipe that we so love, and even started putting cheap dollar store toys out as prizes. After a couple of months of getting away with this, someone from corporate came in for a random checkup and acted as a normal customer. Seeing this, they immediately reported back to corporate, and with that, the Chico location was slammed with a number of policy violations. And if they didn't revert back to the old way of things, they were set to be shut down immediately. Sure enough, the manager didn't feel the need to follow along and allowed the location to be shut down. By this point in time, the company was more strict with its properties being used, so pretty much everything with Chucky and the other characters' faces on it were taken to headquarters, including the animatronic costumes. The same manager, however, kept the location running and closed the restaurant only for a week, rebranding everything within that time frame. To cover up the naked endoskeletons on the show stage, the owner took a trip to the nearest party goods store and found 3 adult-fitting costumes to place on them. Leaving the 2-stage background up, Chucky was turned into a lion, except the top half was Jasper's body and the legs were Chucky's. Mr. Munch was a yellow dog with black ears, and Pasquale was now a spotted cow. Helen and Jasper, Chuck's upper half, were thrown in back storage, as there were not enough adult costumes to fit all the mechs. As I said earlier, the animatronics had gone over a decade without proper maintenance, so after placing the cheap costumes on the bots, the owner tried to see how they performed with Chuck E. Cheese show tapes. After seeing that they could hardly move their heads anymore, he decided to unplug them and let them stand all day, just as statues for the kids to look at. Chuck E. Cheese and radio songs would still play by the main stage though, continuing using dollar store food to serve to customers at nearly 8 times the original prices. Fun Zone and Pizza only survived 8 months after copying Chuck E. Cheese. They opened in January of 2011 and closed September of that same year. All of the inventory was auctioned off by the owners. The building was demolished in 2016 to make room for a DeVita location.
So now we're left with just the Fun Zone, no fun without Chucky, and a completely different bunch of figures that aren't even animatronics.
They always call me Mr. T. Pancake and roll, give them the ball and just look at it go. Well,
after the Showbiz Pizza and Chuck E. Cheese merger in 1984, many location operators got frustrated with the decision and ended up completely cutting ties with corporate. They felt like they could do a better job making their own pizza places. In New York, this was especially the case for a certain locational operator, as he was in charge of 2, one in Commack and another one in Levittown. Both of these locations ended up closing in 1987. And the operator ended up getting a loan to buy these locations himself. In 1988, both locations were quickly rebranded as Emporium Food and Fun. It's theorized, not confirmed, that the owner reached out to Sally Corp, and they were the ones who made the new custom show tapes and costumes for both locations. Both locations kept all 5 of the Pizza Time players. After only 2 years of running both emporiums, the owner quickly realized how difficult it was to keep up with paying off the loan he took out, as well as keeping up with regular maintenance. It's said that one of his friends was actually one of the higher-ups of Nathan's Famous Hot Dogs. Nathan's Famous started off as a local New York chain of hot dog restaurants in 1916, but today has grown to a hot dog brand that the whole United States has come to love. The Emporium's friend had Nathan's Famous get in contact with him, and they ended up just buying both locations off him. They were closed only for a couple of weeks, and the Nathan's Famous brand gave the restaurants a full makeover. The outside of the Commack location was even made to look like a giant hot dog with mustard on it. In 1991, they were reopened as Nathan's Funhouse to show that this was a hot dog restaurant, but with the animatronics/arcade twist. The Emporium animatronics also went from their generic clothing to now wearing New York gear. Chucky became a bear with a New York Mets jersey, Jasper became a beaver, Mr. Munch became a bulldog with white human hair wearing a New York crew neck, Harmony Howlett became a yellow hedgehog with an iconic I Heart NY shirt, and Pasquale became a giraffe wearing a New York shirt with a black zip-up over it. with a long customized neck made by Sally Corp. Sadly, both Funhouse locations began to decline by 2002, mostly due to an actual Chuck E. Cheese's location also being in Commack, and most customers preferred going there. So the Commack Nathan's Funhouse closed first, and Levittown followed a few years later in 2005. From there, Nathan's Famous made normal hot dog restaurants and expansion into grocery stores all around the US their main priorities, leaving the dream of expanding their animatronic sister locations behind. Years later, a new business came in and Commack briefly reopened as a sushi restaurant, while Levittown turned into a pub. As for the animatronics, none have resurfaced publicly. Some believe they were sold to private collectors, but most say they were just scrapped after the closure. Jungle Jim's Grocery first started in a trailer in 1971 as a roadside produce stand by founder James Jungle Jim Bonaminio. The store was named after his childhood nickname. In 1975, James established a permanent location in Fairfield, Ohio. The permanent location started off with jungle decor to attract customers and create an untested business model. After the business proved to be successful, James decided to buy some animatronics from a closed-down, now Showbiz Pizza Time Incorporated, Chuck E. Cheese's.
What do you get when you take a Showbiz pizza place and change the name to Chuck E. Cheese's?
The location he bought from had the Flag Wavers, Clapperboard, Warblitz, The King, Munch, and a Billy Bob and Fats from Back Storage. The first band they created with the characters was called the Nairobi Trio. Chuck, with Pasquale's lower mech, was the drummer. White Bird retrofitted Billy Bob was the guitarist and singer. Fats was, of course, the organ player. They were placed in 1995 and removed in 1999 to be replaced by the still-standing Cereal Bowl Band. Also placed in 1995 were the Warblitz. They kept the same cosmetic and renamed them the Birdies, with a custom voice tape that would talk to customers. The Birdies were placed in the pets area of the store to promote dog food and cat food. In 2018, all movements began to slowly break. They were fixed and sent to the Cincinnati Jungle Gyms instead of Fairfield, where they were before, and still perform until this day. They first turned Pasquale into Luigi, in a stand in the Italy section of International Foods. Eventually, Luigi was replaced in January 2003 with Pedro. Pedro was given a sombrero, with some cosmetic changes and a whole new costume. He also received a new show tape and performs different songs. He also still performs today at the Cincinnati location. Which do you like more, Luigi or Pedro? Let me know in the comments down below.
Look out! Look out!
Unlike the rest of the ripoffs I've gone over, this one was actually a chain of restaurants, 6 of them to be exact. They all opened in the suburbs of Ohio. You see, the owner of an already large grocery store chain, Marc Glassman, was an entrepreneur. He wanted to dip into a different line of business, but nothing too foreign from his grocery stores. He got word that the Chuck E. Cheese's in Middleburg Heights, Ohio, closed down due to a low customer rate, and felt like he knew how to fix the issue. So just as the Banjo's owner, he bought it at auction. The only rebranding he focused on were the logos and retrofitting the animatronics. It's said there were still Chuck E. Cheese plushies being given out as prizes, oddly enough. As for the retrofitting, Chucky became Marc the Dragon, Helen Henny as Rita the Rabbit, Mr. Munch as Fletch the Monkey, Jasper as Chomps the Walrus, and Pasquale as Allie the Beaver. There were flag wavers and a clapping board left over, and they were used in the show as well. This location also somehow got their hands on an Uncle Clunk clock and had it sitting on the side of the dining area on its own. A little odd, but cool to see. Marc made special pizza and token deals to attract more customers than before, and it actually ended up becoming successful. After 4 years of pretty much smooth sailing, Marc came up with a plan. He acquired 5 more Chuck E. Cheeses all in the same year, 1991. He bought them from the already established franchisers and cut ties completely with the Chuck E. Cheese's corporation when his name was officially on the deeds. There are not too many pictures or videos of the sister locations. It was somewhat difficult to find proper retrofitting companies, so some of the locations had different costumes for the side characters. After Marc Glassman mass acquired the other 5 locations, they stayed open for a solid 4 years, as he mass closed them in 1994 to focus solely on his grocery stores. 2 of the Marc the Dragon animatronics were taken by employees after closure, and the rest of the bots were destroyed and thrown into landfills. Marc's grocery stores are still open to this day. This family's restaurant first opened in 1994 in Houston, Texas, in the Federal East Plaza Mall. It was not a Pizza Time theater before opening. The animatronics were taken from a house stage in Utah and placed on this newer homemade stage that resembled an old-timey diner. Over the course of only a year, locals fell in love with it. It actually posed a threat to nearby Chuck E. Cheese's. The costumes for the animatronic and new custom show tape were made by Sally Corp, and obviously so, as they were a pretty well-made original creation. Chuck E. Cheese was transformed into Rose the Bunny, Helen Henny to Johnny B. Rooster, Mr. Munch to Cole the Bull, Jasper to Banjo Billy, and Pasquale to Paul the Elephant. When archives first appeared of this restaurant on the internet about 6 years ago, people had believed the characters were named directly off of the Rockefellers' names, such as Duke the Elephant and Fats the Bull, but someone reached out to the actual owner recently, and he corrected these names. Over the years, the owner collected arcades he saw for sale, and ones from Chuck E. auctions, as many of them were closing in this period of time, and made a game room out of it. Despite it being almost the most successful ripoff, the owner of the Federal East Plaza sold the building, and everyone in the plaza had to close their stores, as it was set to be demolished.
Well, life on the farm is kinda laid back, ain't nothing but your phone boy and ain't hack. It's early in the rise, early in the sack. Raising me a family, working on a farm. My days are filled with an easy country charm. Thank God I'm a country boy. Well, I got me a fine life, I got the old fiddle. When the sun's coming up, I got cakes on the biddle.
Enchanted Forest Water Safari first opened on July 7, 1956. It's a water park in Old Forge, New York, that is only open for the spring and summer months, so about 5 months a year. In 1985, they extended their building by adding a dining area. On their menu, they serve nachos, hot dogs, chips, the regular. And there sits an arcade room right next to it. When the owner saw that a Pizza Time theater closed nearby, he bought the King animatronic, clapperboard, flag wavers, and merry-go-round ride.
3 blind mice And I can actually tell you where these individual mice came from. These look familiar.
The King performed for about 10 years, as the owner gave the King animatronic to his friend for his personal collection. He needed to make room for a new show anyways. This new show consisted of a Sally Corp retrofitted 2-stage that now has Chuck as Rocky the Rabbit, Helen as Henrietta Hatpin, Mr. Munch as Bad Bonga the Monkey, Jasper as Jack the Donkey, and Pasquale as Antonio once again.
Thank God I'm a country boy. I'd play Sally Gooden all day if I could, but the Lord and thank God I'm a country boy. Well, the fiddle was my daddy's to the day.
They actually still perform until this day, but unfortunately it's a little hard to get in contact with proper maintenance guys for animatronics, so their state is a little rough right now. Their sign in the back shows a lot of resemblance to the Munch's Make Believe Band sign, and the stars from Rocky's background are just stripped directly from the 2-stage. This stage is believed to either come from the Chuck E. Cheese's in Mattydale or another location in Albany, New York, as they both closed a year before this new show was put in. The band, though, is set to be refurbed soon. Guys, since really no businesses have any animatronics left for the entertainment, you should definitely go support Enchanted Forest Water Safari if you live near Old Forge, New York, or plan on visiting. Helping their business and putting our money into them will keep these animatronics open for the public even longer. It's good to keep all of our childhoods alive. The original Chuck E. Cheese's Orlando location was opened in 1982 and closed after 2 years by that first bankruptcy I mentioned earlier. Again, after closure, everything was auctioned off. One of the people present at the auction was Jack Spengler, the co-owner of Mystery Funhouse in Orlando. Mystery Funhouse opened on March 28, 1976, sitting on the iconic International Drive. In the first couple years, it was only a walk-through haunted house maze, filled with illusions, special effects, tilted rooms, secret passages, and funhouse-style gags. Over the years, the complex expanded dramatically. The owners added an arcade, laser tag, mini golf course, motion simulator ride, and even a movie studio, where visitors could dress up and star in their own short films. All of the Pizza Time players were bought, except for Chucky. Someone else ended up buying him, and Spengler instead bought the King animatronic and an extra Jasper they had in storage. In their original designs, they were placed in a built-up birthday area. After 2 years, a lawyer doing checkups on the company's possible future risks quickly advised them to get rid of the original show tapes and cosmetics. So they did just that. Most of the photos and the Wizbangs have been lost over time, but as far as we know, they were reprogrammed to only play radio songs. Jasper became Craven the Rainbow Parrot, Helen Henny became the main singer, which was a human named Morgana, Munch became Wizard, who played the keyboard, Pasquale became Princey, the Prince Frog, who played the drums, and the second Jasper became Wizzy, the red furry monster with blue eyes that played the electric guitar instead of the banjo. With these new cosmetics, instead of the fabric-like masks and bodies, these new ones were made of plastic to give them more of a friendly, cartoony look, kinda like the original Rock-afire masks. The new band name was the Wizbangs. It must be my favorite name through this entire video. It's so lifelike and colorful, just like the stage they performed on. The Wizbangs quickly became a fan favorite, and people started visiting only to see them. They performed on a stage, connected to the ceiling, hovering over, of course, the cafe area. The Mystery Fun House's popularity peaked in the late 80s and early 90s, as it gave a cheaper alternative for families that couldn't visit Disney or Universal. Unfortunately, those same parks became too big and popular to compete with, leaving the smaller roadside attractions to scatter and leave out of Orlando. On February 18, 2001, after 25 years of operation, Mystery Funhouse officially closed its doors. The company that owned the Funhouse, Westgate Resorts, kept the Wizbangs, and they've been in storage since. A couple photos of how they look nowadays leaked a while back, and it's been reported that they're getting refurbished as I speak, to be used once again at a different Westgate property. It's said that the owners never forgot how much people loved the band. Now, these next ones I wouldn't necessarily call ripoffs because they aren't made for dining entertainment, so they're more just cool original creations made from Chuck E. Cheese's endoskeletons.
And banging on the drum, bristles bear.
Also known as the Traveling Theme Park Band, or Zachary's Traveling Band, is a recently discovered retrofitted one stage. The show was created in the 1990s by Mechanical Displays. In this show, Chuck E. Cheese is Marky Mike Monkey, Helen Henny is Henrietta High Note Hippo, Mr. Munch is Gigi the Gator, Jasper T. Jowls is Cole the Cool Cat, and Pasquale is Bristled Bear. The show was sold on Facebook Marketplace in May 2022 for $20,000. The show was purchased by East Coast Gaming Expo on May 23, 2022. The band no longer travels. They now sit in a private collection. Just like Jungle Jim's and Marc's Funtime Pizza, these guys sit in the Ohio area. They only come out for a couple of months year-round at the Burger Farm and Garden Center. None of the animatronics have cylinders or air hoses connected to them, so they don't move. They pretty much act as statues. Chuck is dressed and changed to look like a rabbit farm girl. Helen is displayed in the hen house with the warblets, often trading positions each year. They sit on hay bales next to a chicken coop. There are also a Pasquale and Jasper, who haven't been too changed, that sit next to the rabbit Chuck. My personal favorite from this show, if you can call it that, is Munch. They made him look like a pumpkin monster.
Howdy, folks. Y'all having a good time?
Of course they're having a good time.
See, this is a Wonderland place. No, Tony. This is a Wonderland pier.
Now, last but not least, not to be confused with Rocky and the Ramblin' Rascals, Rocky and the Railroad Ramblers is believed to have come from Zack Periwinkle's, which was a Pizza Time theater located in Pennsylvania that was converted to an independent family entertainment center. After Zack Periwinkle's closed, the show would be moved to another family entertainment center called Captain Good Times in New Jersey, and finally, Gillian's Wonderland Pier, where it resided until 2024. At Gillian's, they were retrofitted into their final forms, with another custom show tape from Sally Corp. Chuck is Rocky the Panda, Helen Henny is Henrietta Hatpin, Mr. Munch is Bubba Bonga, Jasper T. Jowls is Hank the Dalmatian, and Pasquale is Antonio once again. Seems like we're getting rip-offs of rip-off characters at this point. The show was placed as a side amusement at Gillian's, and visitors would have to pay $1 to see the show perform. Sounds like a good deal to me. For a long time, the show was in various states of disrepair. The stage was restored to its original condition in 2014 by longtime employee Andrew, who continued to work on the show until Wonderland Pier closed on October 13th, 2024.
Today, we've been talking to so many folks who've been coming by to be here, to make those final memories and to be a part of.
On October 25th, 2024, Andrew made an announcement video on his YouTube channel, Actors317, confirming that he had officially obtained the show. This includes not only the animatronics, but also the sign above the stage at Gillian's and all of the onstage props. He said that he was looking to see if any nearby amusement parks or piers were interested in having the show perform, but every place he asked declined. Again, businesses see animatronics as old, out of touch with younger kids, and a big chore to take care of because of their maintenance. Even though Andrew offered to keep up with them regularly for 7 whole months, from November to May of 2025, no companies were interested, until finally, at the end of May, the historic Promenade food court responded to his request. Only 2 blocks away from Wonderland Pier, the animatronics were officially moved and were prettied up for their new home. Their return was officially announced by the Promenade on June 14th, with the grand reopening show being on June 21st, 2025, and they looked fabulous. With the original $1 pay activation removed, they sit in a large room that's upstairs of the food court and perform every hour. They're also accompanied by the Monkey Band, which is a group of 6, now reduced to 4, mini monkey animatronics that all play their own instruments. Guys, listen, if you live near Ocean City, New Jersey, go visit and support the Promenade Food Court. The Man and Dog Show are going through what's called a trial run for the 2025 season. Whether the food court keeps the animatronics or not depends on how many people go visit and support them. If attendance is low, they may again be only for private viewers. Promenade made a really good decision by expanding the life of the legendary Man and Dog Show, and in return, we should give them our full support. I even plan on hopefully visiting soon. I heard they have good pizza, subs, and seafood there too anyways.
And here they go.
Yippee-yay! Welcome to Wonderland. Here, that is. Sure hope everyone's having a great time.
This is gonna be a request show.
Hot dog! I request a ride on the log flume.
Not that kind of request, Hank. Song request.
Like we have on the radio?
Right, Bubba. We've done received so many requests
that we decided to oblige with this special show.
Well, you sure heap a nice guy.
So, out of all the ripoffs we talked about, which is your favorite? Should I make another part to this? Please let me know in the comments, and as always, thanks for watching.